So in this video, we will talk about the interface of Unity. Okay, so we will see certain basic things and we will see what are the most basic things which we need to know about Unity. So today in this video, we will see about the interface of the Unity. The first thing is toolbar actually. So this is the toolbar. Okay, so in this place you can see certain icons which is available. To the left side, this toolbar provides a most essential working features. Okay, so certain essential things which we need to access, those are the things which will be available in this toolbar. So on the left, it contains the basic tools for manipulating the scene view and the game objects. Okay, so you can see here, and at the center you can see the play button, pass, then step. Okay, so these we will be using once we have started developing the environment and we are trying to play. Then here you see the user collaboration, our account details, the layers. So these are all things which we need to make visible in the scene view, and then the layout. So how we can able to change the layout. For example, I can give 2x3, so it will be looking like this, 4 split. Okay, from our perspective. Then I can use tall, wide. I can go with my own layout. So I can save my custom layout. Okay, I can go back to default layout. So this depends on our usage. Okay, so then hierarchy window. So this as named, right? This is the hierarchy window. This hierarchy window will be having the whatever the object which is present in the scene. The game object, whatever present in the scene, it will be text. It will be represented in the text. So for example, there is a camera, main camera, which is kept here, and there is a light, directional light, which is kept here. Okay, so like this, whatever the object we might have in the scene, so it will be kept in the hierarchy window. So this actually reveals the structure of how objects attach to each other. Okay, so what are the kind of, for example, certain objects will be coming inside certain other objects. So those things will be in a structured way. It will be revealed in a hierarchical manner. So each item in the scene have an entry in the hierarchy. So the two windows, so this is the scene window and this is the hierarchy window. These two things are interrelated. Whatever the object present in here, it will be represented in a text wise. Okay, so whatever object you have, it will be kept here. Okay, then the game view. This is the game view. So whatever the scene which we have created, which we have edited, which we have kept, and when we click the play button, the simulation begins. So this view will give us the what will be our final rendered game output through the scene. What will be the final rendered game output, that is through the main camera display. So this display is showing from here, and what will be the output? This will be seen. Even we can have like this also. So you can partition like this, and you can keep like this also. Okay, or else you can go like this. So this is up to you. So this scene window is where we are going to work, navigate the scene, edit the scene. So this scene view can be of 2D or 3D. It depends on what type of project we have selected. Okay, what type of project we have selected. This depends on the scene view. Will be depending on what type of project. If we have selected the 2D project, it will be of 2D. If we have selected 3D project, it will be of 3D. So this is completely depends on what type of project we have selected. So then comes the inspector window. So this is where the properties will be showcased. So whatever the object we have in the scene, whatever the object we have in the scene, it is directly displayed, right? I can select this project or else I can select this. We can see the properties also changing. Okay, so for example, this is a light, right? I can change the color of the light. Say like this. Okay, so I can do that. I will control Z. I can change the spot, point, directional, all these things you can change the position, you can rotate, you can scale out, scale in. So soft shadow we can say, select anything. So even camera we can select some other camera as well. Solid color, depth only. All these things we can change. Perspective, orthographic, you can change it to that. Okay, so all these things we can change. Okay, this is where the inspector window comes up, and there we can able to change the properties, the layout, content of inspector. Change every time when you select a different item. You can see here when I select this one, the property changes. When I select this one, the property changes. Okay, this is the inspector. So I can change the properties here. Then the project window displays the assets, whatever we are going to use. For example, this is a scene. Actually, this is the only package I'm having. So we can one by one, when we are adding the objects and assets, it will be loaded here. It can be seen here. Okay. So this window helps us to import our assets, all these things. They will appear. Okay. So then status bar will be giving us the information and notification of the process we are carrying out in the unit. Okay, whatever the process we are carrying out, it will be stated here. It will be notified here. Okay, so one by when we are running and doing the activities in the Unity, you can able to see what are the things happening here. So it will be notifying us. So you will see that. Okay. So now we will go one by one. See the toolbar. So this particular item you can see here, those things are transform tools. Okay, the same. The first tool in the toolbar is the hand tool, allows you to pan around the thing. Okay, see, I can able to pan around the thing. So the next one, move, rotate, scale, transform tools are there. Okay, all the things we can able to use. Okay, so depending on each and every tool, we can able to see. I can rotate and I can scale out, I can move, I can select to tool and I can move, rotate, scale. Okay, all these things I can perform. Okay, so these are things we can able to do. So these are the transform tools. Okay, so whatever the object which is present in here, we can able to edit those individual objects with these type of move, rotate, scale, rectangle, transform. But this is to pan the scene. So these things are used to edit the object which is present in the scene. Okay, so these are the two different. So tagging the transform, gizmo effect in the scene. Okay, so we can have like this. Okay, so we can able to toggle from transform gizmo effect in the scene. Okay, so these things are play button, pass, all these things, and then step button in the game view. Okay, all these things. We can use when we are develop the game, even more controls are there, we can able to use those things. Okay, so the things are accounts. So then scene views, you can control which object appear in the scene actually. So we can able to change the default. So all these things we can able to control what all things it should be visible in the scene and what all things not want to be visible. And as I said before, this is the layout which we are saying we can able to control the layout in here. Okay. So when it comes to status bar, so there are things which can be seen when we are loading certain things, how much loaded, so keys, all these things will be, what all the type of activities are happening. If we are compiling something, scripts or anything in the console window, what are the things happening. So all these things will be visible. So one by one we will be seeing those things. Okay. So we will come back to the scene view. Actually, in the scene view, interact with the world you have created. So you can able to use the scene view to select and position the sceneries, characters, camera, lights, all other type of game objects. So we can able to manipulate, select and modify the game objects in the scene view. So these are certain skills which we can need to learn when we are starting the Unity. Okay. So scene gizmo. So this is a graphical overlay associated with the game object, a scene and displayed in the scene. So here built-in scene tools such as move tool or gizmos, and you can create custom gizmos using textures or scripting. So some gizmos are only drawn when the game object is selected, while other gizmos are drawn by the editor regardless of which object you have selected. Okay. So always this scene gizmo appears at the upper right. Okay, you can see here. This is the upper right scene corner of the view. This thing we can able to control by clicking any of this object. I can click here and even okay. Bottom, top, right, all these things can be controlled. Yeah. So these are one thing. So this displays the scene view camera current orientation. So allows you to quickly modify the viewing angle and projection mode. Okay, so the scene gizmo has a conical arm so on each side of the cube. Okay, so the arms at the front will be named as X, Z, and O, X, Y, and Z. And whenever you're going to click on any of the conical arms, as we said, we will be going to that particular area. Okay, so this we can able to control on. Okay, you can see here. So I can able to search wire as well. So all these things we can able to see here. Okay. You can see the 2D view and the wireframes you can give, shapes you can give. Okay. So you can also so you can even right click and you can give so free, right, top, front, left, bottom, back, and then perspective. Okay, and I can change the view. Like this. So whatever way we want, we can adjust. Okay. So then you can also toggle and perspective to now. So like this, we can do that. Okay. So orthographic or perspective. This depends on how we need the view to be. So actually you can either go for the top view or front view, or you can have perspective mode, or you don't want to have the perspective mode, you just have the orthographic mode as well. Okay. So even you can use arrow keys to move around. Okay, like this. And so if we are going to click and drag to move the camera around, so we can even give hold the alt and we can able to rotate it like this. Okay, I am holding the alt key and I am moving the camera. If I didn't hold the alt key, if I can able to pan the scene. But if I'm going to hold the alt key, what happens? The cursor, the mouse pointer is changed to I, and I'm going to rotate the camera. I can do like this. Okay. Yeah. So this is one thing, and in Mac it is option. And okay, and left click and drag to orbit the camera. Okay. And in 2D it is not available. You can see here. I'm pressing that, it is not available. Only in 3D, because in 3D only you can rotate. It is having the Z axis. In 2D you are not having the Z axis, just having the X and Y axis. So if we need to zoom in, again I'm going to press Alt and click the right mouse button. In Mac it is option and then click right mouse button, not the left mouse. If you are going to click left mouse, it is rotating the camera. You are going to click right mouse means it is going to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, in the scene. So when you are going to give a right click button, so you can see here this is the fly through. Okay, so you are around using so you can use left key, right click, and hold shift to even move faster. Okay, so if you didn't use shift, it will be slow. If I use shift mouse button, that is keyboard, it will be faster. Okay. And even you can use scroll wheel to even move faster. You can edit the frame selected, all these things. So when we are going to work with the objects, you can, once we have selected, so you guys can work on that. So we can have, we can see the properties associated with that. So we can see what are the options we can able to use from that, all the things we can able to see. So we will come back to this hierarchy window. So here, so actually as I said before, hierarchical window displays every game object in a scene. Okay, such as models, cameras, and prefabs. Okay, the assets which we are going to use as a template. Okay, you can use the hierarchy. Actually, you can use the hierarchy window to sort and group the game objects which you are going to use in a scene. You can use the hierarchy window to sort and group the game objects in the scene. When you add or remove game objects in the scene, you also add or remove from them from the hierarchy window. When you are going to remove or add an object here, same thing is going to be happening here as well. Okay, so for example, I can able to add anything here. If I'm going to add here, so what happens is same thing will be added here as well. So for example, I have just copy pasted here another light. So what happens, see, if I delete here, it will also delete here. I just deleted a light and it is also deleted in the hierarchy window. Okay. So for example, a hierarchy window can have another scene as well. Okay. So another scene which is related to the current project or current scene. So here Unity uses the concept of parent-child hierarchy or parenting to group game objects. An object can contain other game objects that inherit its property. Okay, the object can contain other game objects that can inherit its property. Okay, you can link the game object together to help move, scale, transform. For example, a human is there and dresses are there. You just group all these things. Whenever you are going to shrink a human, the dresses also will shrink according to that. So whenever you are going to move the top level object or a parent game object, you move the child objects as well. This is why this nesting is. This is why this child parent thing is. Parent child objects. Okay. So you can also create a nested parent child game object. All the nested objects will be still a descendant of the original parent object or a root game object. Okay. So for example, the child game object inherits the movement and rotation of the parent. Okay. Whenever we are going to move the parent, the child also will be moved. Okay. So here you can see this scene is a parent and these things are child which is inside this scene. Okay, like that. So in inspector window, we can able to see what all the properties will be attached to this. Okay. So controlling, we can able to control the focus. Okay. So when we are going to edit a particular item, for example, I need to edit this item. So that depends on what are type of item it is. Okay, we can able to inspect game objects, items, what kind of component it is there, what kind of material it is having, what kind of texture I can apply. Okay, so for example, I have assets. How I can able to import properties, other properties, what kind of audio clip I can import, what kind of texture can be applied to for a particular tree or a building, wall, all these things. Okay, so these things can be done in here. Okay, so we can able to even inspect multiple items as well. It's not just one item we are going to inspect. We can even inspect multiple items. Okay. So from that we can able to uh, change the properties. As I said, we can able to change the particular object's position by using transformation. I can change, for example, I can give 2, it is moving. See, I can give 20, I give 5, or I can give -10. So this depends on what position I'm going to give. See, given, you can see here, if I'm going to change the x value, it is depending on this x position, it is changing. If I give change the y value, depending on the y position, it will change. Okay. So z, if I give means depending on z, it will change. Okay. It's moving towards blue. See. So like that. I can even make it bigger. Okay. So I can rotate this. All these things I can do from this perspective, from the transformation perspective. Okay. So this is what the usage of multiple assets. I can, same thing I can able to control. So what a type of gradient I can add for an object. Okay, all these things I can able to control. Okay. So these are the things, these are the interfaces. So even more about the interface we can able to learn. So whenever we are going to work with this objects, all these things we will try to learn one by one. Okay.